In this AutoCAD tutorial, we will be drawing some windows for our small cabin. So let's start here in the master bedroom, and we'll put a window right up in this area. And like we did with the doors, I want to usually be 6 inches away from a corner so that I have room to put trim or casing. So I'm going to start this by drawing a line from there to there and offsetting that 6 inches. So from here to here. And I can go ahead and delete that line. And I'm going to make all the windows in my house 3 feet wide. That'll simplify things just a little bit. So I'm going to offset, and I can either type in 3 feet or 36 inches. So 3 feet, click here, click over here. And I want to escape out of that command. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim this out. Now, technically what I want is I want something that looks like that. But I want to put all these on my glazing or my window layer. And so in order for me to do that, if I click these lines, it changes everything. And that's not what I want. So I'm actually going to trim those out and redraw them. So let me undo this. I'm going to go to my trim command, click, right click to change the function, and then I'm going to draw just 3 lines across. Right click to repeat my line, escape, right click to repeat my line, and I'm going to pick up the midpoint. And I want this line, this line, this line, and my 2 end lines to be on my window layer. And that represents a simple double hung window. So let's put one over here in the kitchen area. So let's go ahead and cut it, and then what we'll do is we'll copy that one and move it over here. So I'm going to put it in the center of this wall. So I'm going to find this midpoint, and I'm going to offset that by half of the distance. So I can either type in feet and inches. I can actually type in a decimal. Even though I'm in my units of architectural, I can still type decimals. So 1.5 feet. So here and here. Escape out of that command. I'm going to delete this middle one. I'm going to trim these out. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and delete these as well because I have them in my other window. So I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and I'm going to click copy. It says, where is my base point? Where do I want to pick it up from? So I'm going to pick it up from here. And I can only move 90-degree angles because I have my ortho on. So I'm going to turn my ortho off. That should allow me to move it. I'm going to set it right out here because I need to rotate it. So I'm still in the copy command. So let's go ahead and put an extra one out here and an extra one out here, and then I'll just move those into place later. So I'm going to hit escape, go back to my kitchen. I'm going to click rotate, select objects. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to right click to change my function. And then it doesn't matter really where my base point is. I'll just select a corner. And I want to make sure that it's this way. I highly recommend turning on our ortho. Back off. And then I'm going to select move. Select my objects. I'm going to draw a box around everything. Right click to change function. And then I want to grab it from right here, and I want to stick it right on the end of that wall. Let's do the same thing here at the front of the house, the cabin. So I'm going to offset, well, I need something to offset. I'm going to offset 12 inches. This one I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to grab it from here. And I don't want to just move this on top of my lines. That would be bad CAD. I actually want to delete walls and then put those in place of the walls, not cover them up. So let me offset again at 3 feet. Draw a line from here to here. In fact, I could just put lines all the way down. So we'll show a different way of doing this. It doesn't have to match. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this middle. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to delete these so that I can then click Move, draw a box around it, right click. And again, it doesn't matter where I want to go. I probably want to select a corner. If I pick the midpoint, it's going to be hard to find. So I'm going to select that corner. I'm going to zoom in, make sure it's right there. And let's go ahead and put a little bit of space between those windows. We'll do another 6 inches. I'm going to offset that to 36. Let me trim this out. Right click to change functions. I'm going to get rid of those. I'm also going to get rid of those. Click Move. Right click. Zoom. All right. Let's go ahead and put one more right here and we'll draw it instead of moving it. So I'm going to put it right in the center of this wall. I'm going to pick up the midpoint, draw my center point, hit Escape. I'm going to offset that 1.5 feet. I use decimals a lot because I think it's a lot faster on the keyboard. Go to Trim. I'm going to trim all this out. Now this didn't trim because I don't have anywhere to slice it. And I'm going to go ahead and put those on the window layer. Draw a couple of lines on that layer. So 1, 2, Escape, repeat. Select all 3 of those. So I can select by clicking and dragging and making sure that those are all on the, oh, looks like I didn't quite get to it. Another reason we want to zoom in when we work. So let me do that over. Go back to my line, pick up my midpoint, and zoom in. Much better. All right, so that's how to draw windows in AutoCAD.